Evening all, and welcome back to Factory Town. So I cut the last episode a bit abruptly because I recorded for way too long, so let's pick up where we left off and carry on trying to figure out these Omnipipes. And then we want to copy a grabber, put it there and set it to sugar. Like so. And that'll be sugar coming along. So you've now got all the ingredients required apart from fruit. We can get fruit from being packaged there. Oh, right. Stop. Okay. I need to do a different thing here. I need to do that whole trick of having I need to do this trick up here that we did where we have blockers. They are currently linked to this thing here, but I want to do like one of each. One of this, one of that, one of the other. I think, let me check the ratios. 1 sugar, 2 fruit. So we want to do 2 fruit and 1 sugar. Yeah, that's a little awkward. And do you know what? We'll just do we'll do the exact same logic. The exact same style logic that would work for anything really, for yeah. So we want 2 grabbers, and we want them to be filtered to sugar, and we want them to be filtered to berry or fruit. There's 2 different types of fruit. That one. That should grab pears, apples, or berries. Let's double check that. Yeah, it's grabbing the berries. There we go. Awesome. Right. So I want to turn them both off for the moment, like so. And then we want to have a... not there. We want to have a logic system probably down here somewhere. So we want to go with the inventory sensors. We want to go with the math blocks. The standard sort of setup, and I'll go with delta blocks as well because why not? So you're going to be filtered to, we'll say fruit again. I'll use the same one because hopefully that'll be correct. And sugar. Boom. You link to that. You link to that. You link to that. You link to that. So I know I've gone over these before, but I'll do it again just in case somebody doesn't know. The inventory sensor checks out a inventory. You have an offset up here and an item filter. So I've set the item filter to sugar. If I click on the offset and put it onto the kitchen, this will read the kitchen to find out how many sugar is inside it, and it will pass the information on to the next block you've linked it to. So by clicking it and then clicking on the math block, it makes a link to it. You can see the link there. It's fatter here than it is down there. And see when I mouse over the math block, you've got a fat curve coming from the inventory sensor to the math block, and then another fat one coming from the math block to the delta block. Well, we set the math block to be, shall we say, less than 10. So what will happen here? What will happen here is the inventory sensor will check whether there's sugar inside the kitchen. So it'll check here. If there is, it will pass on the information to the math block. If the information the math block gets is different to what it has written in here, so currently we're saying less than 10. So if it detects less than 10 sugar, we're saying send a true signal, and the delta block will send true. So we go along here and we link the delta block to the grabber, and because it's true, it will turn the grabber on. Once the kitchen gets above 10 sugar, this will become a false signal, so it will turn the grabber off. So that's how it works. So yeah. So again, this one here, offset to the kitchen. This will detect whether there's any fruit in here. You see that fruit is apples, berries, or pear. If there's more than 10, or well, whatever you set this to, a +1 it has different things to it. If it's a true signal, we'll add 1 to it. If it's a false signal, so if it had fruit in it, this would send forward a +1, which would make the delta block very confused because it's just looking for a true or false signal. So we want to set that to 10, which is half the inventory size, and say less than. Less than is important because if it's less than 10, it's true, so we turn on the grabber to fill it up. And if it's more than, it's false, so we turn off the grabber to stop it clogging the belt up. So that's the idea there. This is longer than 10 blocks long, so this might actually not work. We may have to change something up on here. I'll keep an eye on it for the minute. So we'll see. In fact, if I set this to less than 1 on both of them, that will mean that when we're empty, when we're on 0, we want more. And when we've got 1 in there, we'll stop. Because the belt's long, so we've got, that is technically a buffer. That's a, let's see, that is a, oh, it doesn't actually tell me. That's not very helpful. How do I find out? Oh, pick a different belt, draw over the top of it, and it tells me in the bottom left corner 42 belts are required. So that's 42 long. That's twice the inventory of the kitchen, which could cause a problem with this system here because it might back up. Although sugar is used independently from fruit juice, so we should be okay. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that should fire there. The only thing that you may need to do, a delta block is basically a block that sends a true or false signal. If it keeps receiving false signals over and over and over, it will not send anything forward. So it won't keep telling this to turn off and off and off and off. It will just sit there going, yeah. Then when it gets a true signal, or a different signal for the previous one, so if it was all false, once it gets a true signal, it will fire and say that's true. And then if it keeps getting true signals, it will just won't send it. Then once it gets a false signal, it will fire that. So it only sends one signal when the difference between true or false is given. The only reason I'm doing that is because if you link the math block directly to this here, you get blue lines firing. Every time the inventory changes, it fires a blue line across, and it's a little distracting. So the delta block just gives you the help there. The only problem is that you never quite know what the delta blocks are set to, whether they're set to true or false, so they might not trigger properly. The best way I found to do that, put down a toggle, link the toggle to both delta blocks, unpause the game, hold control and click the toggle a couple of times. Boom, like that. And then, and that triggers them between true, false, so they, you know, they switch. They switch between true and false, so they know kind of what's going on with it. So you see the sugar has backed up and we can't get any fruit in at the moment. So that's not really working all that well. But the sugar is independent. It's not used with the fruit juice, so it should be good. See, the fruit juice should now go down to 0, and that should have fired to open up that, and it hasn't. For some bizarre reason. Why not? You are false. You're linked to that. You're linked to that. Ah, I didn't link the delta block. I did not link that delta block over to here, so it's not known what to do. So because it's now linked, even though it's always getting a full signal, you can see the little blue lines flashing there. Hopefully, yeah, see them flashing there. But the delta block isn't forwarding the line because it's the same. It's always getting true to true, so it wants to turn it on, but it can't because it doesn't re-forward it. So you can manually turn it on, or you can do the toggle thing to allow it to link. Yeah, that will work. I think the best way for me to actually do this and allow it time to do it, if I grab a mana belt, which is the fastest belt we've got, and I put that in there, and then I go and grab a cloth belt, but a cloth belt as just the first ones there, because the cloth belt is so much slower, it will only put one on here every 3 squares. It's put one on there. So that means we've now divided this belt in 3. So instead of having 42 fruits on this belt, by the time it gets to the 1 in here and it turns it off, so we would have 42 on here and that's only got a 20 buffer. Now we're only going to have a third of that, in theory, which is a number my brain can't figure out. 10 would be 30, so it's going to be 12, 13. It would be 13 or 14 on the belt. Which is fine, because 13 or 14 on the belt is great, because this can take 20 in, so it'll be able to clear the whole belt. And the reason I'm doing that is because if this belt gets blocked up with just, say, loads of sugar on there, we won't be getting any fruit in to make the fruit juice, And because we're not making the fruit juice, the enchanter then can't do anything because it's not getting the things it needs here. So that helps. That helps. Just changing the very first one to being a slower belt, and then having these faster ones means that it just puts less on the belt for the distance. You see here we're actually filling up. For some bizarre reason that's not working. Why is this not working? What's wrong? What's wrong? You are offset to there. That is correct. You should be set to... Is it the other fruit? Oh. Is it that one? Yeah. Okay, so we've got two different types of fruit in the item filter. That one seems to work here, and that one, I think, was this one, wasn't it? That's odd. Oh, that's something else you've got to be very careful of. See, I've just linked the inventory sensor to that block. Got to be very careful of doing that. To unlink them, just click and click again, and it will turn red and unlink it. But this is using the second one. That's interesting. Maybe I should just use berries instead. No, that is still outputting berries. So, okay. But see, because that didn't work now, that's full. And because this line is full, if we now need sugar, we can't get it because it's got to wait for all these berries to be used. So that's the idea behind filtering that out there. Okay. So the kitchen is getting everything it needs to produce all the things it needs. Which means you're getting everything you need to produce all the things you need? No? You need health potions. You don't have any mana power. So we need to give this mana and water power. Now, here's a good question. Do I want to do that via one charger or two? Because I could do it via one charger. And it would work just as well. What I mean by one... Sorry, I keep muting you there because I keep coughing and sneezing. So, yeah, what I mean there is one transmitter, not charger. If I had one transmitter transmitting into the enchanter, and then we had... Oh, didn't want to do that. We had one receiver. And a receiver. Which would have to go... further back here than I can get it. There we go. That can actually go forward one. There we go. What I could do is I could have the mana pipes go to there. I'm just trying to think of how to get this. What if we did that? Did that sort of a system. And then we have some blockers. Blocker. Oh, there and there. We say you are only going to block water crystals, and you are only going to block mana crystals. So that would mean the mana crystals would always go that way, and the water crystals will go this way. So we've got one transmitter doing two different types of crystal. Then we need rechargers, which we could put 3 in quite happily. That, and then just put in a splitter there, and that would work. That would in theory work. So I need to get myself some water and some mana. Water is up here, isn't it? Oh. Okay, water. Grab the water. Bum, bum, bum. And drop that in the system. Oh, no, sorry. drop it in there. You can't put it into the receiver, you've got to put it into the transmitter. I forgot about that. Boom, there we go. Okay, and that's letting water go that way. It will all end up back in here. And then it can only go that direction again. It does cause a bit of a problem, so... what if we did... There we go. The crystals always want to go straight, so they will go around that corner and straight up to there. And if that's blocked, then they'll go round. And I need that because I don't want to block off the point there, because we may need mana, which we can go and grab now. Mana. Which is in one of these barns. Which one's in? That one. You can hold down F to bring up an overview of everything, so you can see what's inside what. So, yeah, so there we go. So it's in that barn there, and we've got loads of it, which is awesome. So let's grab some of those. Move you over here. This is kind of cheaty. Moving the carts like this is kind of like moving resources, but yeah, I could build a bridge and get it to transport all the way over there and drive all the way along to do it as well, and then destroy the bridge afterwards. It just seems easier doing it this way. It's smoother, I think is the word. So there we go. So now we're getting mana power in, which is awesome. And we're producing health potions, which means we're producing elixirs, which is great. Awesome. And of course, when we produce a health potion, because of the way the internals work on these buildings now, it will fill up its input buffer before its output one, so you don't have to ever worry about taking out potions or anything that it's using before it's filled up its buffer. It will always do that first, which is a much better way of doing things. I'm so glad that's in there. So that's our elixirs. Awesome. We could start selling these to our villagers as well, our townsfolk. They do want them, I believe. Yeah, they want health potions there, and elixirs there. But we're okay. We're okay for red and blue coins. Purple coins are actually rising. I think we're on 48,000 last time I looked at them, so that's awesome. That's awesome. How are we doing for that? You aren't running because you've run out of air crystal. I've run out of air crystal. You've got air in there. Why have we run out of air crystals? There's the air line. You're just not making them fast enough? Is that... How are you getting mana crystals? Is it all on the one? It is. It's on the... Oh yeah, that's the gate thing, isn't it, that I built? Yeah. Yeah, that's how you get in mana crystals, and... Yeah, okay. Right, so that's still working. I'm happy with that. I'm happy that that little toggle gate thing there is still working after all this time. I was really worried that would block up and go wrong, but it's probably one of the most stable logic things I've built. And again, that was on a whim. I do get quite a few comments of people going, oh, you know, I couldn't ever see myself doing what you do there. Go for it. You can do this. You can do everything that I've done here. Because that was... I had some weird thing in my head going, I wonder whether that'll work. Try it. And if it doesn't work, learn from it. Learn from why it didn't work, what went wrong with it, and try and fix it. When I first put this in, I think it would only switch between the two gates, and I had to turn it around. You saw the episode, you see I had to change some things up on it, so it wasn't working. Then we added the ball functions in on top to change things over there. So it started off as something a lot simpler and then progressed into something more complicated. And that's what all these are. These I use all over the place, and it may look like I've got a lot of logic set up, but if you think about it, it's 3 blocks, and it's just repeated over and over and over. So, yeah, and it's easy. And you've just seen how I've built that farm and the enchanter over here. I just put them down, I figured out what I needed, and then you just go, right, put the inputs into it, put the output to there. And although it looks complicated, it's really not. All you're doing is just going, I need herbs, find herbs. I need water, find water. I need fuel, find fuel. And just repeat. You can do this. It's, I won't say it's easy. It's complicated. It's not hard. It is complicated. But you can do it. You can do it. It's, as with everything, it starts off simple and gets more complicated as time goes on. This looks like a giant complicated mess. And if I was to pick up this map and have never played it before, I'd be like, how does this all work? But because I built it from the ground up, I kind of understand where everything goes for it. And it's the same for your worlds. You'll build it up yourself and you'll be like, oh yeah, this does that and that does this, and why isn't that working? Oh, I can fix that. And before you know it, you've got your complicated spaghetti mess that somebody else would look at going, how does that all work? And it does. You just know how it all works. And yeah, and this is working. We have 10 elixirs. We have the health potions there. We need to get elixirs up over there, which does mean, yeah, we need to get elixirs into there, as well as fuel. Fuel's actually quite easy. And then I want to, so I'll just grab the coal line there, and then I want to grab a pusher. Pusher block bomb. A pusher block will always push coal or any it will push any item into an inventory if there's space. If there isn't space, it will let it go by. You've then also got the other logic block, the sorter, which will always push stuff into it. So if I put a sorter there, it will never let the coal go past it. It will always do that. So that means that this gets priority over this, which is fine because it doesn't need that much fuel. So what else does it need? It needs Omni stones and it needs magic conveyor belts. Now magic conveyor belts are always over here, aren't they? So we need to bring those up. We've got a couple of lines here coming in already, so maybe I'll just use those. Well, not actually use them, but what I mean is use them as a sort of guide. I'll use standard conveyors for this. So, oh no, I can't do that because that's in the way. Although I can, because I can just lower this one down because it doesn't need to be anywhere near as high as it actually is. Really, it could be much lower than what it is. I'll put it up there so it avoids the trees, but really it can go through the trees and it doesn't affect it. Trees aren't as solid as they used to be. I'll take that out. I don't really know. Yep, there we go. Okay. So, yeah. So let's say we go to this height instead. Then from there we go along to there. Then we remove that, and then we do one more. Just go one more. There we go. Thank you. And then go down. Alright, is that working? Yes, that's working. Awesome. Let's put the support back in there. Not that it needs them, but I like them. Then that gives me enough space to run this one over the top. Yep, without any problems. Awesome. So that can come all the way along. And it does bypass that. That's awesome. All the way along to where are we making them? That one. Ah, there is a pipe there. I might have to redirect that pipe. Can I redirect it this way? Yes, I can. Awesome. So let's remove that there. Awesome sauce. And then you come along to there, and then come down, and you're way above the barn. Okay. So that's not going to work. We've got to go way further back than that. Let's do... oh, no, come this way further. Oh, damn it. It's sometimes difficult to get the belt to go exactly where we want. If you go to an overhead view, that's why I do it quite often. You can draw in a straight line, then you can pick which way you want it to go. That just works better. And then I've got the caps lock key set to moving my camera when I'm holding the mouse button down, so I can hold caps lock and then move the mouse and it will change the camera, so I don't have to cancel things. Don't know if that is the default setup. I don't believe it is. Not sure. Now what we need to do is run this belt the other way around. Zoom, zoom, zoom. We can't go over the top of that, we've got to go underneath it. Like so. There we go. Okay. That should be magic conveyor belts coming in. Normally I would have that one lower so that I can put in the grabber without it being offline, but I'm not going to do that now. I do want to set up some logic with this as well, because I don't feel as if I want to have... Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not going to set up any logic with that. No, I'm just going to let that go. Because I'm not fussed about having loads of belts on loads of these belts on one of these lines. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If I need them, I can just pick them up from the line. That's not a problem. The reason I do logic sometimes to stop things like here, I've got this going along here, is because this is being supplied in multiple places, and if it's always outputting onto this line, it might not work for it properly. The fire one's actually not that bad. We don't need that much of it, but yeah. I don't know why I did the logic. I think I just like having the belts clear rather than stuff being sat on them, but then it doesn't matter either way. It depends what mood I'm in. I suppose that's the truth behind it. Yeah. Right, so we need Omnipipe, which happens to be the wrong button side. The wrong side here, so let's do that. Let's copy that. Let's run that to there, and then do that. And put a grabber on there. Boom, there we go. Now we need is Omnipipes, Omnistones coming in there. I think I'm going to grab a wagon for that, which I did leave here on purpose and then went and installed it for somewhere else. So, yeah, there we go. So we're still a wagon for that. You know, you can have a little road. And now we need elixirs to come over. Now, elixirs are going to be the fun one because we're producing them here. And we need to go there, which is going to be exciting. How are we going to do that? I need to go up in the air, don't I? And then over there somewhere. Wow. Okay. So... Right. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count out... here, so let's grab a belt. Let's say I want to go, I don't know, 20 blocks high. That's going to be way over the top. Let's see what height I need to go to. So I'm going to go to the same height of these ones here. I think I'm going to run it along the outside or maybe the inside. Let's see here. Yeah, we'll run it along the inside. Okay. So it's going to be there. It's going to be like that. That's where the belt's going to come from. So that means I need to run it all the way along here, and it's going to go hell no there. So we're going to have to do a little bit of terrain flattening just here. And then it's going to go, there's a bush in the way. Let's remove those. Oh, right. And because I started on the ground, it's to use scaffold blocks. I don't want to use scaffold blocks. I want to use the half scaffold arches because you can get things underneath them. So if I come back here and start drawing, it will then use them. It uses whatever's underneath. Hold control to make sure it's at the same height. It uses whatever block is underneath when you put it in, when you start drawing the line. So yeah, that's what you want to come do there. Now we've got a barn in the way. And an Omnipipe. kind of want to use Omnipipes. I can't use Omnipipes, can I? No, I can't use because no, they're not Omnipipes. They're mana pipes. Okay, so we need to go around the barn. Yeah, we need to go around the barn. Damn you, barn. Or we can go up and over. I think up and over is kind of a good idea. Simply because we are kind of in an awkward situation there. If I do that and then copy the right thing and go down there like that, there we go. That'll work. And then come along here, hold control. Then figure out exactly where we need to run this pipe to. So the enchanter is there by the looks of it. Let me try and get a square on. Yeah, the enchanter's there. We can kind of do this by going from that back there. And because I'm in a top-down view, if I start there and draw along, and then draw like that, it snaps to where I want it to go. Run this all the way along to there. It's in the wrong square. It's one square out because I didn't get my top-down view proper. Yep, I'm going to remove it. I'm going to remove it, and I'm going to put in... I'm going to move it by one square. Can you believe that? I'm going to move it by one square. I am destroying things underneath, I've just noticed. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm a little confused as to why it's destroying stuff underneath, though. Put those back in. Bit weird. Oh, mind you, it's destroying the belts. So yeah, that actually does make a little bit of sense. Then draw that one in there. There we go. Okay. Alright, see, if I try and draw that and you end up going sideways first, you can't get it to go the direction you want it to go. You've really got to be directly on top and kind of in a straight line for it to work. Let's go over here now. And I can hold control and stuff and do that, and that should have put it in the correct place this time. Yay, it has. Awesome. Right. That's pretty high up. That's definitely my most over the top belt. We can come a little bit more forward than that. That'll do. That'll do. Oh, will it? Yeah, that'll do. You take trees from there this time around. Once we get the fire system going, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so now if I copy that, then I just run it all the way along this way to here, and then run it all the way along that way. And I'm redoing the belt because I need to make it face the correct direction. And then I just need to put in the last one there, so it goes into there. And that should, in theory, output elixirs. Oh, it's output elixirs and potions. We don't want health potions on there. No. So I want to put in a grabber, I suppose. Yep, grabber or filter will do the same job, or blocker will do the same job. We want elixirs. Oh, the upper fuck as well. E-L-X. No, E-L-I, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. Wow. There we go. So you're going to output your elixirs onto the belt. And those elixirs are going to go off. And I could have used the mana belt for this. Make it all much faster. But it's not really producing at the speed I'd like it to produce at. Interesting, you don't have any fruit. Why don't you have any fruit? Why aren't you turned on? Oh, yeah. So this is a mistake that I made a couple of episodes ago as well. If you set this to less than 1, so it's got to get to 0 before it will turn on, but it requires 2 of an item to produce something, it may balk up like it's done here and break. So this needs to be set to less than 2. So if it ever ends up less than what I can do, then it'll do it. If the sugar was, say, it needed 3 sugar, you'd have to set it to less than 3. So yeah, and I think I'll have to no, it worked on its own. There we go. That would be why the jam stopped working. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So we're producing elixirs. There they are. We're going along this very, very, very slowly, and eventually they will end up here. And finally, after a very long time, they are here. Yay! Here come the elixirs. And in they go. And Omnipipes get produced. And finally, we have Omnipipes. Now, that took a really long time to get here. And I paused the video and went, I'll wait for him to turn up. And then I unpaused the video. And about 5 minutes later, I was like, this is broken. There. The Omnipipe, the mana pipe, ran right over the top of the belt and was blocking them, so I've had to run it up and over. So, yeah. But it's working now, so yippee. Okay, so I think that is where I should bring this episode to a close. So, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I hope to see you again in the next one. And until then, as always, have fun.